What's up, dudes? It's Gaz. Welcome to another Railjack Empyrean video. And in the video today, we're going to have me doing a solo Vale mission. I'm going to show you all the builds, all the gear, and I'm going to go over some stuff. I'll probably be talking throughout most of it, but yeah, if you want to see any specific piece of gear, we're doing this at double speed because it took me like a half hour, to be honest. So if you want to see anything, I definitely recommend slowing down the video, maybe putting it at half speed, or pausing the video whenever you see something you're interested in. So what we're doing here, we're using the Void Cloak. Well, we're trying to use the Void Cloak ability, which makes our ship invisible to enemy fighters for like 50 seconds. We were trying to do that, and then I realized mid-mission I didn't actually have a button set to activate that one. So yeah, we basically just used the Cygnus and the amesha with wisp, and it was like a high-level Arcwing mission pretty much. So I'm just showing you guys this stuff that works really, really well. This is the first time I've ever soloed a Vale mission, and at the end, it was so satisfying to complete this because this is obviously meant for 4 people. These are high-level fighters. You can actually, I actually got the cryo turret I wanted in this run, and I earned it myself. So it is a little bit of a bummer. I'm probably going to have to pay 50 plat to unlock that cryo turret, and I can't just like farm. I can technically farm resources, but getting 15k titanium is definitely not an easy task. Maybe not. It's probably not difficult, but it definitely is going to take you a while, especially if you don't have a booster. I do have a booster, and I still feel like it takes a while. So, mission I'm picking here, guys, is the first Vale quadrant mission, and this one, the reason I'm picking this one is because this one has a really good reactor, Mark III reactor, that can drop as a reward at the end. So once you complete the mission, you can get a really good reactor to drop, and that's in the reward pool. A lot of people farm this mission for that reason, and that's why I'm doing it currently. So I finally got a Mark III reactor as a random drop. The one I got, unfortunately, is not very good, though, because instead of giving me more mod capacity through avionic increase, it actually increases my flux energy, which is really good for my missile spam build from the other day, which, by the way, is pretty good for farming intrinsics as well. You can cheese low levels with that missile spam build, and you're going to get, like 3-4 intrinsics per cheese of the run. It can be pretty good, and with my flux capacitor thing, I have like 750 flux energy, so really good for low levels. And you know what's really good for high levels, guys? This Cygnus with a Riven. Look at this. These are like almost high, max level fighters, and they're dying in about like 2 seconds, pretty much. I'm slowing them with amesha, so I'm getting all the shots on them, no problem. I have multi-shot in the Riven, and guys, when you're rolling a Cygnus Riven, I think multi-shot's the most valuable stat. Elementals are really good too, because just you have to look at how weak the mods are on Arcwing at base, the Arcwing guns, and you have to like patch up those weaknesses. So I saw that the multi-shot mod for Arcwing guns is 60%. I knew I needed to get multi-shot on there on the Riven to get over 100%. So I'm doubling my damage at that point. Also, the elemental mods aren't super powerful. I'd say also the damage mod itself is not very powerful. So if you got a damage and multi-shot Riven for the Cygnus, dude, they're gonna die even faster. Although mine's really good. I definitely like mine. I have no negative, but it gives me plus corrosive, and it melts them. Some people have been saying that radiation also works, but I think we're gonna be getting some confirmation from DE this week on exactly like what's happening with damage, because it seems like even the devs are confused what's going on, to be honest. So, yeah. You can definitely mod for radiation or corrosive, and honestly, they both are going to work fine. Do keep in mind they get changed into different damage types when you are in this Railjack mission. So, for example, radiation is going to get split into 2, and it's going to have whatever it's called, like electric version, and you're also going to have fire version. There's no combined elementals in Railjack. It's going to become... Okay, so heat is called incendiary, and then electric is called ionic. And what ionic is going to do is temporarily disable the enemy's flight controls, and heat incendiary is going to make a damage over time effect. So you're comparing that, and a possible damage modifier that's not supposed to be there from it being radiation. You're comparing that to corrosive, which is chem, which is going to Chem is going to make the enemy confused, basically a rad proc. They'll attack enemies near them. They won't be shooting you once they're proc like that, but honestly they'll be so slow with amesha it shouldn't even matter. And then we also have the Ionic again, which is going to disable the enemy flight controls. So if you look at it like that, maybe Radiation is technically better because it's going to give you that damage over time effect as well. But I actually don't even have a choice personally on my Riven because I have plus corrosive on there, and it's working just fine. So this is what I was talking about yesterday with the Ionic intrinsics farm. If you had 3 people, if you got 4 people with Signuses, and I mean you definitely do not need to have a Riven for this. There's lots of mods you could replace the Riven with. It will do a lot less damage, but it's still going to be totally usable. You get 4 people with that, you would mow down this mission like it's absolutely nothing. Like I said, I forgot to even equip a button to have my Void Cloak activated. You could have one person in the Void Cloak, activate the Void Cloak every like couple of minutes or something like that. The mission's going to be a complete breeze. The only part that's going to hang you up really is the 2 objectives, and that's like what took the most time here on us. Me mowing down the fighters. I'm already at like 50-something fighters at this point, solo. And it's honestly been super easy, so... The hardest part about this was the boarding parties. These guys have 2,000 armor at base, and that does scale up, so you're going to want to use some of your most deadly weapons and Rivens against these boarding parties at high levels. They get higher level than 80 as well. The highest I've seen is like 90-ish, and those guys are no joke. They deal so much damage, they have so much armor and health. It's disgusting, and honestly, like, sometimes 3 boarding parties can appear at once. You need to have like some ridiculous charge attack build ready to go, and hopefully it has built-in slash procs too, because a lot of the time it's not gonna just one-shot them like you want. The slash procs would take care of them after you've hit them with the initial charge attack power. Also, just notice right there, a purple item on the map, that is a piece of wreckage. That's going to be like an engine, shield generator, a reactor if you're super lucky, and I'm jealous that you got a purple reactor. Honestly, like, I'm so salty that I can't get a reactor is the one I want. Like, I've seen the max capacity you can get on a reactor is like 90 plus for avionics. That's insane. Mine gives like 30, but it does, like I said, it does give me a bunch of flux energy, which is super cool as well. So yeah, as you see, we are at 70 fighters now, just shredding through these guys like they're absolutely nothing. And see this like bubble thing here? I think that's going to be giving the enemies like a healing over time, but we can out DPS the healing with our sickness Riven, so it doesn't really matter. Also, we just died there. I'm not sure. There used to be a bug where one of the attacks of the cruise ship can actually penetrate the amesha's first ability, but I mean, they might have patched it at this point. I could have just been like losing a bunch of stacks since there were so many enemy fighters around me. I didn't see the exact situation there, but it probably was me getting shot by a bunch of enemies at once. Also, guys, one of the most valuable abilities in the entire intrinsics tree is the level 4 tactical. Because what the level 4 tactical gives you is no matter where you are on the map, you can use your Omni tool. It's going to start a teleport back to your Railjack, and it's really, really valuable and really good. You can go do an objective solo if you want to. You don't have to do that because like there's containers in there that give resources. Those resources aren't going to be given to everyone else. So if you really want to get lots of loot, you can, after the mission's done, go with your teammates into those bases and loot everything for max resources. It's not totally worth it to do that, but it is an option. But yeah, once you complete the objective solo, like we'll be showing how to do the objective solo in this video. You can just teleport back to your ship and help your buddies out, help them with fighters. Maybe just go do both the objectives solo and then teleport back. It's really up to you. If you have 4 people, like, I'd say the best, here's the best strat for these Vale missions, guys. Number 1, obviously a pilot. Pilot, super important. Number 2 is going to be your go-to amesha slower guy, and he's going to have also a Cygnus if he's super prepared. Just having the amesha slow should be enough to make the gunners able to, make the gunner able to just like mow that stuff down. If you're not going to even have a gunner, you want to have multiple Cygnus using ameshas. That's also an option, but then you want to have one person that is going to be like the guy who is the go-to repair guy. Because if you don't have a go-to repair guy, sometimes that timer for catastrophic failure can get pretty close to 0, and when you're getting these Mark III, like random rolled pieces of ship parts from these missions, you don't want to get stressed out and think you're about to fail. Trust me, I've failed when I've gotten multiple good ship parts in a run, and it's a really bad feeling, and it makes you not want to play Railjack for the rest of the day. The reason we did fail that earlier is because we had a bug, but it's you know, just playing careful is going to make it so you aren't going to have to like instantly fail if you do get a bug, because there's sometimes bugs, guys, that you can't see where the cracks on the ship are. And when you get a catastrophic failure like this, you have to find the crack that's the really big crack. That's the only one that really matters. The other little ones aren't going to kill your ship. The big crack is the one that's going to... that's where the timer is coming from. So, really, really important. So now that we've killed all the fighters, we just need to kill one more cruise ship and do the 2 objectives. So, a lot of the objectives are very similar to each other, and they have the same layout inside the base themselves. So, they're usually going to contain you going in there, hacking a console, shooting something, running out. There's a radiator that's exposed on the outside of the ship. That's when either, if you're doing it solo, you exit the meteor base and then go out and blow up the radiator yourself, or if you have some teammates outside, they're going to shoot the radiator for you. And that'll make it go faster for sure, but I mean, it's usually not ending up like that. Like, you'll usually have one person go and do the solo objective, or not the solo objective, but the objective, and then they'll just do the whole thing themselves. I mean, sometimes it'll work out where you have a teammate like driving up with the Railjack helping you out, but it depends how quick your team really is. Also, keep in mind the vacuum for the Railjack is gigantic, and the vacuum for the Arcwing is really tiny. So, to get resources reliably, you really want to make sure you're driving the Railjack around. But you can definitely do that after you clear out the fighters if you're doing this solo, which, I mean, I wouldn't really recommend it. This definitely was much slower than if I were to do this with a full team. Even if I was just having the team, like, driving the ship around, absorbing resources for me. Like, it really is much, much slower, but it is definitely doable. Also, I'm sorry I'm only playing Wisp for this, guys. I'm going to try to find some other frames that are relatively good for this, but to be honest, there isn't really much mystery to who is good in Railjack. It's like, are you a mobile character? Can you support? Do your abilities help you in the Arcwing? Things of that nature. It's not really like, there's not like some like puzzle to put together. I mean, if Wisp continues to be as good as she is in Railjack, which I hope she is, because, you know, Wisp is the best. I think she might have actually replaced Nova as my favorite frame at this point. I wish Nova was more useful, but you know what, that's just going on a tangent. There isn't really much mystery to figure out what's good on the frame side of things. The ship side of things, that's where more build diversity can come into play. I still don't think Ordnance is extremely useful. Ordnance is like the missile you can fire with the ship, and it does a lot of damage, but it's pretty slow. At least the one I'm using is pretty slow. So maybe once I get some other Ordnance charges, it can be more useful to me. But so far, my favorite things to use on the actual Railjack itself, it's the ice turret by very far. That's why I was so happy that, and it was so satisfying to complete this mission solo, is because I got the second ice turret. So I can have an ice turret on the front of my ship, and also my gunners on the side can also have these ice turrets, all at Mark III. So I'm really happy about that. But besides that, like, I did unlock the Carcinox, which is the toxin, I guess it's technically chem damage. But now that I know that that one is just going to rad proc things, I don't really think so. There's another one that shreds armor. That one might be pretty useful. I actually have that one too. I'm still going to test that one out a little bit. Since we're going to have amesha slowing things, I mean, unless like it's nerfed, I hope not. I really hope that amesha doesn't get nerfed. That would be unfortunate, because I mean, it is making this a little bit easy, to be honest. But, yeah, you know, I don't want them to nerf amesha, because I like amesha a lot. And I've had amesha for years, and I've always thought, like, amesha I use in this Railjack right here, I used this in JV, like, 2 years ago, whenever JV was still around. And I've done one JV ever, and I got an Arcane Energize. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what was happening in there, but I got this. Everyone was like, that's beginner's luck. Apparently, there was beginner's luck in JV. But yeah, guys, once you actually kill and you do all the objectives on this map, you can actually go and loot the map entirely afterwards. All the enemies are basically gone. Like there's some like cannon turrets and some like asteroids and stuff. But yeah, you can just go loot the map. Like, see right here, like there's these Trocons in that box. it seems like all the boxes and containers have guaranteed resource drops. So if you're a little bit short in resources, you should probably do something like this, because you're gonna get lots of Railjack resources. Also, look how tanky these guys are, man. Good thing I have like ridiculous red crit heavy attacks with guaranteed slash procs built into them, or I'd probably just have to run away, honestly. Like, my Fulman can definitely not handle these guys, because they nerfed the crap out of the Riven disposition. I have like 53% multi-shot now on my Fulman. That's like worse than Vigilante Armaments, and I am a little bit salty about it, to be honest. My Fulman Riven was like, it was my best Riven by far, and now like the stats are so low, it doesn't even feel worth it. Yeah, I was just trying to justify using the Fulman. It is Wisp's signature weapon, so I guess it makes sense. I do think the Quelor is probably, I don't want to say it's better, it's actually a very different feeling weapon. You don't actually have to switch fire modes for the Quelor. And like, it's got different fire rate and stuff like that. It's a different weapon for sure, but I've been using that a little bit more than the Fulman nowadays. So we completed the first base. Like I said, the spawns don't seem to change really inside these bases. The consoles you need to hack, the things you need to shoot, they are always in the same order. And that's honestly one of my complaints with Railjack, is that I feel like there should be like more RNG in these encounters. Like, I kind of wish that like this core thing maybe was like on the right side, or maybe that console I just hacked, maybe it's like the one in the basement this time. And if because here's the thing, I mean, I know this is like a bug I'm talking about, but when the UI bugs out, I've done this enough times, I know exactly where to go, even though the UI's bugged out and not giving me a waypoint where to go. I wish that was not the case. I like a little bit of guesswork, and like a little bit of RNG, like random generation of these levels. That's a really, really small complaint and an opinion-based thing by me. It definitely does not need to be like that. But like, I feel like there's no like real mystery when I go into here. It's like, okay, well, I know exactly where all these consoles are going to be. I just need to go back and forth, destroying the radiators to do this quickly. Because I'm usually going to be ahead of my teammates, because I mean, we'll talk about it usually. I'd say like the go-to strat definitely is. I'll probably be sticking with my team for now on, just helping them take out Gunner, since I have this really OP Cygnus now. Yeah, so like that's the second generator. Now we're going in. This is the final thing we need to kill. It's always in the basement here, and it's just a constant need to hack. Also, keep in mind, I'm using ciphers for everything, just because, I mean, if I hacked every single little thing in here, it would just take so much longer. So yeah, it was a little bit sloppy of a run, but I just want to show you guys it's possible, even when you are doing extremely sloppy and not even using the Void Cloak like I am. So I hope you guys found that helpful. Avara Prime Access is coming out in like 12 hours, and I will be farming that definitely today. So if you want to come check out the channel, go for it. Twitch.tv/gas_TTV. Probably won't be playing much Railjack today, but yeah, we'll see. I definitely, since I got that new reactor, I'm more interested in playing now, because I felt like I couldn't really use my Railjack before, because I had the level 0 reactor still with 10 capacity. Now my reactor is 33 capacity, and I mean, for like Saturn and like Earth missions, I can spam those Seeker rockets now. I can fire 7 Seeker rocket swarms before having to reload. So it's like pretty awesome, honestly. That's way more than I even need for an entire mission. Maybe we'll revisit that in the future. That was a really fun like mini build to do. I know like we jammed in the damage types in that video as well, so maybe that wasn't the best choice, but like whatever, honestly. I want to show, there's so much stuff to show you guys that it's hard to choose like and pick one topic for these videos. So yeah, we'll do a full Cygnus video in the future, but I mean, I showed you guys what's up in this one. I mean, here, let's just quickly go over the Cygnus really quickly. If you made it to the end of the video, you don't even need to watch the next one. I'm gonna have the Cygnus info right here for you. I am such a professional YouTuber, aren't I, guys? It's like, it's just unbearable how professional I am. So like I said before, the slash damage is going to make it so you're shredding the enemy's armor and they're taking more damage. That's just how it happens in space. I know it's not how it normally happens. Usually, like, make a damage over time effect on them. So I think Zodiac Shred's actually pretty useful when you make a high status build like this. So get some of these dual stat mods. These come from the Prophet Taker, I believe. I've got 3 of them on here. Before we take, so we have to take our multi-shot mods off to see what the actual status chance is. It's 84. You could technically get to 100, I think, if you put one more status chance mod on here. But, you don't really need it, to be honest. You're doing good. You can do 100 if you want that really badly. I don't think that's really necessary. You can just jam more base damage on there, or you could jam something like more fire rate, which if you're playing Wisp, you definitely don't need, but I mean, you could. you're actually going to empty the magazine instantly. I wouldn't recommend putting fire rate on here if you're playing wisp, or if you have a wisp on your team. Then in the last slot, you could put another elemental. You could put something like this. Is just going to give you more of your corrosive damage. If you don't have, if you're not forced to run corrosive like me, you could run radiation as well, which is going to be just as good. So, if not better. Like I said, there's probably some problems with the math that's going on that maybe not even DE is aware of. So we will be getting some updates soon, hopefully. I'll talk to you guys next time. Please like, share, subscribe, and yeah, enjoy Ivara Prime Access. I know I definitely will. Peace, guys.